Today we have something interesting product here, which is Attack Shark X6 mouse here. And well, this is a particular mouse that I've been looking to review for a long time now, and now I got this because it's a pretty new mouse that I would like to review. So first let's do the unboxing here. Boom, and we got this mouse here. You can clearly see here it's a pretty decent looking mouse, and not gonna lie, it's pretty light. Just holding it, it feels very light because it's just only 49 grams. Exactly, this is a very light mouse you're looking at here. Just 49 grams. That could be plus minus 3 grams depending on if you're plugging in the wire or just using it wireless. So definitely on the range of 49 grams, and it's pretty light. As I said, 49 grams is extremely light. So the model number is of course X6 from Attack Shark, and it has three-way connection, which is wired, 2.4G wireless, and of course Bluetooth 5.2 support. So that is pretty neat. Three-way connection for this particular mouse, which is pretty neat, as you can already see right over here, which is the wired connection, the USB Type-C that goes right over here. Not only that, there is something that is more interesting, which you can see clearly is, well, there's two charging points here, and I'm gonna come to that soon. And of course Bluetooth 5.2. You can change the modes right over here. As you can see, there's a mode changing options from off, of course wireless, and of course Bluetooth, and the wire connection is in front. You can also change the mode depending on what you choose into the profile. We'll come to that. The DPI range is limited to 800 to 26,000. I feel like those users that are going below 800 won't be able to utilize this particular mouse, but if you're going above 800, from 800 to of course 26,000, even though I don't think that many people use that high DPI, usually the 800 to 1000 is norm, but some users like to use 400, but for this particular mouse you won't be able to use it, of course. As for the polling rate, going up to 1000 Hz from 125, so yeah, 125, 500, 250, and 1000 Hz are available. As for the sensor, Attack Shark X6 is using the PixArt PAW3395 sensor, which is a pretty flagship sensor according to Attack Shark. And the switches that they're utilizing is the Black Mamba 800 million times capable switches. The problem with that is that Omron switches would be much better for these kind of mouse, because I believe Corsair goes for Omron switches, but I guess Attack Shark is using the Black Mamba, which is still not bad. The sound test will be coming shortly, but still it's not too bad. As for the battery life, we're looking at 200 hours. I haven't tested that entirely because I recently got this mouse, so I will be testing that and notifying you on the comments if that is true or not. But they're claiming 200 hours of working life, so you don't have to worry about that because you can anytime charge that using the USB Type-C or even the dock that I would like to introduce now. So this is the dock I'm talking about here. Look at this. This is basically a dock that they give you, which also has RGB. That is kind of mind-blowing, and it also has a touchpad. I don't know if you can see that or not. Look at this. If you touch this, it changes colors, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. I didn't expect this to have a touchpad. Like, they invested a lot to make this dock, which is quite interesting. Now I'm going to demonstrate why this dock is important. Is because look, you can have this mouse right here, and as I mentioned, there are two charging ports here that you can literally just dock it right like this, and it's just going to charge. You can see this right here. There's a red indicator that will tell you if it's charging or not, similar with the USB cable. So yeah, and the fly is coming here for some reason. So yeah, that is pretty cool. You can charge this with the dock. Also the RGB, you can change that anytime you want, which is kind of funny because the mouse itself doesn't have any RGB except this particular LED here, or not really LED. You can change the color anytime you want, because right now you can see it's somewhat of a pinkish, but I guess in the camera it won't be like pink. But yeah, it's quite interesting they did that. Yeah, it looks pretty neat, doesn't it? As for the accelerated speed, we're looking at 50 Gs of speed, which is pretty neat, and the movement speed we're looking at 650 IPS. So this is quite decent for any kind of esports gaming. Definitely made for esports without a doubt. As for the color, we're looking at black, white, and red variants. 3 variants you can find. I was able to find only this one because this is the most common color, the white one. The black is also available, but the red is very rare. It's not like entirely red, it's more like pink. So yeah, I don't know why they call it red. It's kind of like pink, you know, those baby pink colors. So that's kind of like they're going for. Almost forgot this dock. These ports are magnetic, so basically you can just easily dock it. You don't have to worry about looking at it. Just point it and just look. It just stands there. You don't have to worry about align it properly. It's just like that. And of course, this is touch, so quite interesting. Not only that, you can get these stickers right over here. As you can see, these stickers goes on top of this mouse here. So they're basically, you can align these stickers with the mouse. Quite interesting that way they did that. And basically it's just a firm grip. And you can already see it's looking pretty decent, right? Makes the aesthetic completely different. But if you want to go for a clean aesthetic like this, you can stay without the stickers. I personally like the stickers because, you know, it's a perk. So why not? As for the sound test, I will be doing a sound test. The sound might be a lot boosted. So here, listen to it. As for the software side, you can clearly see here right now that I'm literally opened up the Attack Shark software. You can download this right over here. As you can see, this is the page for the Attack Shark X6, and you can scroll down, and right over here from downloads, you can get the Attack Shark manuals and a software, of course. For this particular mouse, of course, we are using the Attack Shark X6 software, and this we can, you know, download it from here. And it looks like somewhat like this. So you can see the button layouts right over here. The most interesting part about this particular mouse is that if you look closely here, these are two DPI buttons, right? These are the two DPI plus, DPI minus defaults, basically. But for Attack Shark software, you can clearly see I toggled it with E and C. I binded it with E and C, and look, you can literally use these buttons for your any kind of macro or whatever you want. It's just you click right over here and you have all the capabilities. Basically, left click, you can, you know, bind it with left click. I don't know why would you do that, but yeah, that is capable. Left click, right click, middle button, forward, backwards, double click, fire button, easy aim, and mainly things. And this is the shortcut. Assign a shortcut, and then there it is. I've assigned it with E, so you can literally do the same thing. As for the profile, that's what I'm talking about here, which is the profile. You can create as many profiles as you want, and you can literally toggle these profile right over here. As you can see, you can just toggle the mode switch and it will toggle anytime you want. So it also indicates the power level, how much battery life you have left, so that is also capable from here. So that's pretty neat, right? And of course, the DPI settings, as I mentioned, you can literally choose whatever DPI you want. Right now it's 200. It takes a little bit of time, not too long, of course, a couple of time, and then you can toggle it back to 800, whatever your choice is. And also this light setting, this is the light setting you can choose basically for this. Unfortunately, they couldn't really apply it for the dock. As you can see, the dock doesn't have that basically the lighting profile. For whatever reason, they didn't do that. But yeah, just that the mouse can only be used for the lighting profile, and you can change like the breathing effect, LED off, static, neon, whatever you want to choose. And yeah, there we go. I chose pink here, so you can see somewhat of a pink. Maybe it's like a orange in the camera, because, you know, not the best camera here. Anyway, you can also adjust the polling rate right over here. It's quite interesting the way they did that. For the 1000, I selected it, so it won't be selected anymore. The others can be selected right here, as you can see in the screen. So power management, you can also choose like the sleep time, which is 0.5 minutes for me. Like, I want to save the battery life, so whenever it is idle, after 30 seconds it will become completely shut down, basically sleep time. And deep sleep time, which is 10 minutes. I don't know why would you need that, but anyway, I guess if you're shutting off your PC, the deep sleep time is 10 minutes. So anyway, there we go. And you can also change the lift off distance to 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters. Basically, the lift off, how much distance you want for this to cover. I set it to 1 millimeter because, you know, it doesn't really make a difference. But I guess 2 millimeter wouldn't be that bad either, because, you know, I will have a larger distance, even though it's just 2 millimeters. So anyway, as for the response time, you can change that to whatever amount you want. Like this, you can go to 50 maximum to lower, which is 4, even though it's quite minimum. But I would like to have lower 4 milliseconds because of course it's used for esports. I play esports titles like Valorant or Apex Legends, so obviously I need more reaction time, right? There's also ripple control, angle snap, and of course motion sync. You might want to have this on. By default it is on, that's why, because it syncs the motion, so it's pretty good for the sensor. So yeah, that's all overall the very simple software design. I really like that because it doesn't really utilize that much CPU usage, so that's pretty neat. It's a very simplistic software. I mean, anyone can make that, to be honest with you. It's pretty simple, and I like that because it's pretty simple and user friendly, of course. Now personally, of course, I really like this mouse because of multiple reasons. So let's discuss about the pros first, then we'll come to the cons, even though there's not much discussed in the con part. But as for pros, you can charge this, pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie, you can charge it anytime you want using the dock or the USB, and you can also use it while charging, so very neat. And at this price range, I'll be coming to that, of course. It's probably the best mouse I've figured, literally. And don't forget, it's also wireless, so yeah, it's just a bonus. As for the grip, I want to talk about that because, you know, I use basically the claw grip where I don't use my palm. As you can clearly see, I'm not contacting my palm. I use the claw grip. Sometimes I use palm grip because when I'm relaxing, of course, but most of the time for esports, I think claw grip is pretty effective for me, of course. So whatever grip you're going for, it's gonna be comfortable because it's pretty, like, you can see the design, the aerodynamics is pretty neat, and it's very comfy to hold even without the stickers. So I like it personally, and majority of the people would love that. Whatever hand you have, if you have a bigger hand, like my hand is quite big enough, so basically it really fits my hand. For smaller hands it might be a little bit big, but I don't think it will be a problem because, you know, the whole click touch area is pretty big, so you should be fine. So palm grip or claw grip, whatever grip you're going for, this is suitable. And the best perk is that it's the lightest light. It's like similar to the Corsair option, which is, you know, the light version of the Corsair mouse, but this particular mouse is also light, 49 grams, so obviously this is pretty decent and light, so obviously you would want to use that for esports. That is basically necessary, right? Another thing that is I want to talk about is the DPI buttons. You can program those, which is neat. So basically you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 buttons that you can program. That is pretty good. In most of the mouse in this range, you can't even touch you can't even program the DPI buttons, but now, as I said, I can program these and use the macros, so that's pretty neat. As for the cons, I think the switch could have been improved clearly because these switches are not that great. Obviously these switches are, well, it's good, it's not the best. I wouldn't say it's terrible, no, you can hear the sound, but the problem is that arm switches feels much more responsive, more like you can't even tell you're touching that. But if this one, you have to put some pressure here, which again, if you're adapted to it, your muscle memory will literally tell you that it's no big deal. So I don't think it's a big deal, but if you're looking for something that is even smoother, like arm switches doesn't even feel like they are existent. So yeah, those switches are the best, but again, you need to think about the price. It's only $49.99 or $48.99, whatever the price range is, as listed in Attack Shark website here, which is $48.99, basically $50. You could say that in Amazon it's around the same, so around 50, under 50, I should say, that you can get this particular mouse. So obviously this is like a perk, definitely a perk, and it's giving you so much. I used to have this particular mouse, which is the Corsair G304, and well, I will be making another video regarding to this versus this, because let me tell you, you cannot charge this mouse. You definitely cannot charge this particular mouse. It's literally like battery right over here, you can clearly see, and it's also in the similar price range, like $45, I think 40 to 45, depends on the retailer. But just a little bit more expensive side is the Attack Shark X6, which is still giving you so much option, right? It's like, it's kind of mind-blowing that it's giving you that many options for just under $50, and it's also wireless. So I mean, it's pretty good. You can charge this, Bluetooth capable, 2.4G support, and of course its grip is pretty neat. So I don't have any complaint with that. I think this is a great option. So yeah, what do you think? I mean, this is pretty neat. I have no complaint about this particular mouse. I feel like they did a great job with this particular mouse, and they nailed it with the pricing and with the product. It feels light, it doesn't feel like cheap. Even though the material may be cheap, it doesn't feel like cheap, and it's pretty light, responsive, fast, esports ready.